say that the parents of a new baby have Ruach Kodesh when they want to name their child. That his name and his energy really speaks to them, and they know what his name should be. So I feel like this situation with Yehuda Or was we really felt that this time. So actually in the delivery room, right when the midwife put him in my arms, I looked at him, and I looked at Leah, and I leaned over, whispering in her ear, Yehuda, and then she goes, what else Or? So the thing about Or was that we had talked about it before, and that was a name that we felt we really resonated with, and we really felt like it would bring that energy out into the world. So I want to talk a little bit about why those two names together. And as this name came to me in the delivery room, I realized, like, not what did I do to deserve this, but why am I naming him this? It's like a backwards process. It's saying, well, I know what his name is, now I need to go figure out why. And then the obvious thing that comes to mind is, well, it's Hanukkah. Yehuda the Maccabee, Hanukkah, you like candles, but it seemed a little too cute and not really deep enough, so I wanted to try and dig deeper. I realized that Parsha of last week, or the week he was born, Yehuda stands up for his brother, and he really takes the spotlight and takes his leadership role. So I was really looking at what's going on there, and looking at the Hanukkah story and Yehuda the Maccabee, and really trying to understand what the energy of this name Yehuda is. The name Yehuda on its own has this energy of, I'm here, push forward, I'm gonna, bulldoze through anything, nothing's gonna stop me. It's this big, strong leader. But what I realized is that there was a small, I don't want to say flaw, because I don't want to speak negatively about it, but there was a little quirk. And the common denominator that I saw was that attribute could be something negative. If you bulldoze through everything, sometimes you need to look at a situation, and you need to really have that guidance of light. So that you see Shimon with the Maccabees. Matityahu needed him to be a separate guide, a separate spiritual guide, because he knew that Yehuda was way too strong and powerful to be able to keep himself balanced, right? And when you look at this story with the Shabbatim, Yehuda, right away, he said, we're all here, we're all indebted to you. But if you looked at the situation and paid attention, the goblet was planted in Binyamin's bag for a reason. And Yosef responded to him right after. He said, no, I don't want all of you, I just want Binyamin. And Yehuda was blinded by his determination and his strength of character to see that the shgacha of the situation meant that Binyamin needed to stay. So he stood up for all of his brothers, and he created this huge uproar, and a very powerful one too, but he missed the point a little bit. So that's why I want to get to the name Or, and it's probably a little bit self-explanatory now, but Yehuda Or was born on Hanukkah. And Hanukkah, is sort of the whole story with the Greeks. The Greeks represented a spiritual darkness, even though they were all about beauty and enlightenment or whatever, but spiritually speaking, they were darkness. They were pulling a dark blanket, a cloud over the Jewish people. And between the Maccabees and the whole story, the whole miracle of Hanukkah, that was about reincorporating that light of spirituality back into Hanukkah and back into the Jewish people. And these two names together, I felt that they really, the Or is like that guidance, that wisdom that Matityahu's son Shimon was going to bring to his brothers and to the Jewish people. It's sort of the thing that will balance out that powerful, determined aspect of Yehuda without detracting from it. But it's more of the guidance. And the other thing I want to point out about the two names, and this sort of, I realized this morning, that it was just kind of a funny, it sort of brings it all together, is that, in a marriage, you have a man and a woman, and you're working together in this relationship and this partnership to really, raise a family and build a Jewish family, and to also try and make a positive change in the world. And the dynamic in the delivery room, I was thinking about it this morning, I realized, wait a second, this whole Yehuda Or and the energies of the names kind of reflected what happened there. We both knew that Or was going to be the second name. When I leaned over to Leah, I didn't say Or. I leaned over and I said Yehuda. And she looks at me, she's like, but Or also. And the dynamic there was basically, here I am, I'm determined, I'm gonna feed my family, I'm gonna make a living, I'm gonna do what it's gonna take, and this like fiery determination. And I need to remember, and my wife needs to remind me sometimes, Or like you need to stay balanced, you need to stay spiritually focused, and it's great to be determined, but there needs to be, that guidance. So I feel like those two names really balance each other out. The Or on its own, it needs a vessel to shine itself into the world, and that's what Yehuda is going to bring, but Yehuda needs the light to fill him up, to really give that determination purpose. So I felt like, the whole that name coming to me in the delivery room almost had nothing to do with Hanukkah and Yehuda Maccabi or whatever, but it was, I really saw on his face and just his energy, like right from the second he came out, that he had this really powerful energy about him, but there was something calming about it. And there were two very unique, distinct attributes that sort of struck me. And I feel like, thank God he helped us with Ruach HaKodesh to really know what his name should be. And God willing, he's going to grow up and become the Yehuda Or that we know he will be.